Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel here at Be a Boss Coaching. If you're new here, I'm so glad that you found this video. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. My name is Beatriz. I am a business and entrepreneur coach, clarity and strategy. And today I want to talk about something that's been coming up for me a lot lately. Actually, not just a lot, but in constant presence in my life, and that is fear. And specifically around how do we face fear in a kind way and in a compassionate way, not just pushing through it, but actually dealing with it. And what I mean by that is knowing that we don't need to suppress or get rid of fear, but actually embracing it in a whole new way. So, I want to share with you something that I've been doing a lot these days that has helped me to push through the fear, push my comfort zone out. And it's been really helpful in taking scary steps in this journey that I am in as a coach, building out a business. And I want to share that with you today. So, something that I've been doing, which I haven't fully announced it, but I'll tell you here now. And if you're watching this video, you're very lucky that you get to hear it. But I've been building out a group program. And I have shared that with my email list, for example. So there I share a lot of my things that I'm working on, exclusive offers, opportunities to be part of my program for free, just to test things out. And for me to start a group program was really scary. Honestly, I don't even know what prompted me to start a program or a group program because I never had done group coaching before. I've only really done one-on-one. But I wanted to do a group program mainly because I'll be honest with you, I started playing around with my website's member website feature. And next thing you know, I was building out a member website. And next thing I knew, I was thinking about a group membership. And that's how that started. But it was really scary to think about bringing this into the world and to facilitate group coaching and a group program. And so I want to share with you what I've been doing to move through scary moments, fearful moments, deciding moments that feel scary. And this has even shown up for me. Fear shows up for me in even in the smallest things and things that I've done before. So it shows up for me before workshops. When I do a workshop, I always get really anxious. I get really fearful because you just never know what could happen, right? You could prepare as much as you can prepare, but sometimes you might have a question that you might not know how to answer. But that fear has come up for me even in things that I am I have done before, and that has been workshops. Today, for example, I did a podcasting interview, so plug for my podcast season 4. It is coming back, and the the first episode that I did for it, I did today, and I was feeling really scared beforehand, even though I am literally in my 4th season of the podcast. But I felt there was and I felt anxious about it. I think I just really wanted it to be a good episode. I wanted my guests to feel welcome, to have a good conversation with me, for that to translate into the audio and for the listener. And I hadn't done podcasting in a while since last year because it takes a lot of work and it's a lot of mental preparation, not just for me, but of course research and doing research on your guest and really creating rapport before asking a guest to be part of your podcast. At least that's my process. And so it does take a lot of work, but I was excited to finally come back to it, be ready for it. And surprisingly, before the interview today, I was feeling a little jittery. which was confusing because I have done this before, it goes to show that fear shows up consistently and even in things that you've done before. So I want to share with you some practices that I've been doing to move through the fear, to not necessarily dismiss it, but to embrace it in a way that is welcome. It's welcome in this party. It's welcome in this journey. And it's something that I want to share with you today. All right, so let's get right into it. And let me go into it now. Okay, so fear it's something that we all experience, right? But even though it's a very universal feeling, it is actually a very personal feeling. And what I mean by that is that sometimes fear can show up in situations where it might be terrifying for you, but for someone else, that same situation might be a piece of cake. And that's why advice like just do it or get over it doesn't resonate, because those messages come from people who are already on the other side of their fear, which is great for them. But then that message of don't worry, you'll be okay, just do it, you'll survive, it sometimes feels like it doesn't help, to be quite honest with you. So let me ask you something. If you've ever had someone tell you, just put yourself out there, or maybe get over it or whatever, but you were still scared to do something, I want you to think about how that made you feel. Because for me, it actually made me feel like I wasn't really heard, like it didn't really apply to me. And like there was something that made me feel bad. It made me feel like maybe there's something wrong with me for being scared of whatever I'm trying to face in the first place. And often, fear is actually a sign that you're stretching yourself, that you're growing. And so I want you to think about fear as not as something to be ashamed of or to dismiss, but something that's giving you information. And sometimes fear is a sign that you're doing exactly what you should be doing, that you're pushing through your boundaries and that you're expanding your comfort zone, which, by the way, another plug for my podcast, this season's theme is on expansion. So I'm really excited for you to hear it. But let's get back to this. So fear to me, I think about it like a roller coaster a lot, because I like to think of fear like riding a roller coaster. So you can know logically that you'll be fine, right? Roller coasters are designed to be safe. There are tons of safety checks. There's thousands of people riding them every single day, a lot of them without incident. But that doesn't stop your heart from dropping when you're plunging down that first downhill, right? And even after the ride, I don't know if you've experienced this where you might feel like you may want to do that again because it was thrilling, but you might be like, actually, I never want to do this ever again in my life. And to be quite honest, whatever reactions you have experienced, they're both valid. They're both completely valid. However, when you're building a business or pursuing big goals, sometimes you don't have the luxury of saying never again, because we have to keep getting on that ride if we want to succeed. So you have to keep doing the lives, you have to be making those videos, you have to reach out to those potential clients, you want to be pitching your services. All of those things, even though scary, you still have to do every single time. So how do we do this in a way that doesn't drain us completely? And how do we face these fears without burning out? One thing to understand is that fear is not just in our minds. It lives in our bodies too. And that's why just telling yourself there's nothing to be afraid of can be counterintuitive, because your body is still experiencing the physical sensation of fear. For me, it's sweaty armpits. I will get sweaty. Maybe for you, it's tightness in your chest. So I want you to work with fear effectively so that we can address it both not just in our mind, but also in our body. So regulating yourself through fear can be a process. As a coach, I still get anxious before a coaching session, and that is because I want that coaching session to be as valuable as it can be for my clients. And sometimes those thoughts can trigger those fears of not being good enough. And in order to move through those thoughts, we have to create some rituals for ourselves that let us move into these situations. Let me break this down by what you can do before doing something scary, what you can do during the thing that you're doing, whatever you're doing, do during doing the scary thing, and then after during the scary thing. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down in these 3 phases. Before actually facing a fear, we have to create safety in our bodies. And one of the things that I do to create safety is to check in with myself. I ask myself how I'm feeling. And I could feel anxious, I could feel nervous, scared, I could be sweating, right? I don't judge it. I just acknowledge and sit with that feeling. And I know it might sound simple, but it's actually really profound because most of us have been conditioned to push away uncomfortable feelings. And so, in this moment of you before doing anything scary, if you find yourself that you're constantly trying to push that away, like I shouldn't be scared, or maybe you're telling yourself this is stupid for being afraid, what you're actually doing is you're actually creating internal conflict, which makes the feeling worse. So try to check in with yourself and say to yourself, I notice I'm feeling afraid right now, and that's okay. It makes sense because I'm doing something scary and I'm doing something new and I'm doing something challenging. And this self validation, if you will, creates a sense of internal safety. And you're telling yourself that your feelings are actually legitimate and makes them less overwhelming. Number 2 is you can ground yourself in the present. Bring yourself back to center. And I like to think of myself sometimes, I've done this in my meditation practices, where I like to think of myself as a tree. And whether it is sunny or cloudy or rainy or windy, that tree stays there, beautiful and graceful. So take a moment to feel your feet on the floor, feel the weight of your body supporting you, or the chair supporting you. Take a few deep breaths and focus on the sensation of the breath moving in and out of your body. And that might be something that can help you feel grounded and can help you feel rooted and centered in the present moment. Number 3 is meditation, mindfulness. So I think I mentioned this a little bit, but I like to actually meditate before something scary. I've been really incorporating this into moments where I feel nervous. And if I'm feeling, like I said, worried, or I'm perceiving that maybe the call might not be valuable for my client, I always do a meditation right before just to remind myself to be present. And that allows me to close my eyes, focus on my breath, notice any thoughts that are coming up for me, and gently let them go. And it brings my attention back to the present moment, back to my breath. And what I found is that when I'm truly present, that act of being present, that's when my curiosity really comes out. My spontaneity really flows better. My articulation even feels clearer, and my energy feels more raw and authentic. And that's because when I'm in my body's experience, or in the moment, I'm experiencing myself in that moment. And any worries and anything that comes up for me, whether it's for the past or the future, I try to come back to that moment. I get centered to that moment, because that's what coaching is you begin to learn how to be present with your client. So try meditating before anything scary, focusing on your breath, and notice how you feel afterwards. Right before your scary thing and right after your meditation, notice how you feel. And then number 4 is visualization techniques. So I kind of talked a little bit about this in the beginning, where you can imagine yourself as a tree. And that is a way for you to literally feel grounded. You can imagine yourself as a mountain. You can imagine yourself as a building, something stable that is rooted in the ground and is extending deep, right? Alternatively, you can visualize yourself successfully completing the scary task. Seeing yourself speaking confidently in the meeting, or hitting publish on that blog post, or maybe closing that sale or that difficult conversation with a potential client. And seeing yourself doing that helps because your brain doesn't always distinguish between something you're vividly imagined and something that you've actually experienced. And by seeing yourself succeed in your mind's eye, you're creating neural pathways that make success more likely in reality. And then number 5 is set a clear intention. What do you want to create in that moment? In that scary moment, what do you want to experience? Something I tried this today as I went into my podcast interview is I set an intention for me to create a connection with my guests. That was my intention. And if you do an intention before your scary thing, maybe you want to, like I said, create a connection. Maybe you want to build an authentic relationship with the person experiencing this moment with you, or maybe you want to learn something new. Helping you create an intention allows you to stay focused, and it becomes like a lighthouse that guides you through the fear, right? When you start to feel overwhelmed, you can always come back to your intention, what you wanted this moment to be, to your purpose. And if that purpose and that intention is at the forefront, then you can make it easier for yourself to stay present, and it shifts your focus from away from fear, but actually to the value that you're creating for others, which often makes the fear feel less significant. Okay, now I want to just pause there because I threw a lot at you in terms of what you can do before doing the scary thing. And I want you to remember that you don't have to do all of these things. You can just pick one, but I want you to have options that you can try. For me, meditation is one of my biggest ones that I do before any scary thing. And that meditation could last me a minute or 2 minutes. Sometimes they're 10 minutes. If I have 10 minutes before doing something scary, I will do a 10-minute meditation. And that's okay. But I want you to have options for what you can do before the scary thing. It doesn't mean that you have to do all of them before it. Just pick one. See how it works with you, what if it helps you, how it makes you feel, and then go do it, test it, experiment, pick one, and then go into your day conquering the moments that feel scary for you. Okay, now let's go into what you can do during the scary thing, because sometimes during the scary thing we our brains and our minds like to go to different thoughts, different scenarios, different expectations or things. And I'm gonna just pause here for a bit because I realize it's getting really, really dark. Okay, so what you can do during doing the scary thing. Number one thing is just stay present, stay engaged. Listen with curiosity and engage fully. Don't focus on how you're being perceived or what others might be thinking. Just be actively listening, actively engaging in the moment. And it's really easy when we're afraid to start living in our heads, analyzing how we're doing, but worrying about what people are thinking, planning our response or what we're going to say next. That actually takes us out of the present moment and it makes us less effective. So instead, try to focus your energy and your attention on what's happening right now. If you're speaking to someone, really listen to them. What are they saying? Really actively listen to what they're saying instead of planning your response. If you're recording a video like this one, focus on the message you want to share, right? Rather than worry about how you look or how you sound. The questions or ideas that emerge when you're truly present are authentic. And those questions and ideas come out of you like water. And it comes from a place of genuine curiosity and connection rather than fear. The second thing is notice when you're beginning to get distracted, right? And it's really normal for your mind to wander, especially when you're doing something scary. But it comes back to the idea of being present. But noticing when your attention is being diverted, maybe you're watching someone's earrings, or maybe you're not even thinking about what they're saying, but you're thinking about lunch, or you're worrying about how your hair looks. All of those worries, when that happens, I want you to gently notice that, gently notice it without any judgment, and then bring yourself back to the moment. Bring yourself back to the present moment. And you might even have a little phrase that helps you return to the present moment. Like maybe you tell yourself to come back, or maybe you tell yourself here now. This is a skill that gets stronger with practice. The more that you gently bring yourself back to the present moment is a skill that makes it easier for you to stay present. Dark again. Okay, we're back. And there's some natural light in here, which is nice. But this is what, so like I need to get some natural lighting or something. But anyway. Okay, so what to do after you've done the scary thing? A lot of times what ends up happening when we do something scary is we move on from it. We might not ever want to do that again. Damn clouds. Why? You know what I realized? It's getting dark for me. See, now you can see the light. But it's getting dark for me because my monitor, my monitor brightness goes in and out as the brightness in the room goes in and out. So for me, I thought it was getting darker, but it wasn't actually getting. Anyway, see, that's what happens when you are trying to create videos and you don't have natural light, or you don't have lighting, but you have natural lighting. Okay, let's talk about what happens, or what you could do when after you've done the scary thing. So what I was saying is, after we do something scary, we like to move on. Sometimes if it's too scary, or we were sweating throughout the whole thing, we like to move on. We like to go rest. We don't like to talk about it, think about it. We just like to move on. And really what we should be doing, or what I suggest you could be doing, is to debrief, to really debrief the moment, to think about what that moment brought for you. How do you feel after doing something scary? How did it go for you? And those moments of self-reflection allow for you to recognize patterns that you maybe wouldn't recognize if you never took the time to self-reflect. I would say check in with yourself. How did you feel? And on top of that, if you do have a coach, or you have a trusted friend, or you have a trusted family members that you can debrief with, or were part of this experience with you, you can debrief with them, and they can give you more observations, and perhaps caught some things that you otherwise yourself wouldn't have been able to catch yourself, because you're in the moment, and there's other trusted people, friends, and support systems that are in the space with you, or in the room with you, that can tell you things that you did well, things that you could improve on. So these moments of debrief are important, not just for you to observe patterns for yourself, but to gently give yourself some love after doing something scary. It is really, really brave for you to put yourself out there, and for you to dismiss that afterwards without any debrief or self-reflection can lead to burnout. So definitely after doing something scary, I would, facing a fear, debrief. You can gently check in with yourself, even if you don't know what you're feeling in the moment, because that happens to me a lot. I check in with myself and I'm really not sure how I feel. Do I feel excited? Do I feel calm? There's a lot that I can unpack there. But even if you yourself are not sure, still ask yourself that question, because the practice of asking yourself that over time, after doing this over many times, answers do begin to come. So make that a practice and allow yourself to debrief, to check in with yourself. All right. And then the last thing I want to share is to celebrate. I want you to celebrate yourself. You did something scary. You did something brave. You did something with courage. That takes balls and that takes acknowledgement, and you should acknowledge yourself. So go and celebrate with a nice walk. Maybe you have a nice dinner, however you want to celebrate. Maybe it's something big that you did that you've never done before. I hope that you celebrate and give it its proper acknowledgement, right? I celebrate even after a coaching session, right? It's because if that coaching session, however it went, I like to celebrate the fact that I was able to be present in the moment, for example, or provide some wisdom for my client. And that is something that I'm proud of. And I celebrate with something small. Maybe I go eat a bag of chips or I reward myself with some chocolate. But however you choose to celebrate, acknowledge your accomplishment, the action that you took, and continue to reward yourself during these moments so that, again, we avoid burnout at all costs. All right. That's all for me, y'all. Really. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you move through fear with courage. I hope you move through fear with some compassion, some bravery, some celebration. And if you need help, please reach out to me. Come on over to beabosscoaching.com and fill out a form. I would be happy to get to know you and to send you a link so that you can experience what coaching looks like with me. And be on the lookout for the podcast season 4 of the Be a Boss Coaching podcast. And before I leave, I want to let you know and invite you that I am having a workshop on April 19th from 11 to 12:30 Pacific Standard Time on newsletters and email lists. And I'm really excited to share what I've learned in my journey building out an email list and building out a newsletter. And there's a lot of joy that you can find in creating that type of content and building out a community that you know is your community and that is not rented out on spaces like Instagram or TikTok. And if you'd like to nurture and focus some of your energy into building out an email list and a newsletter, how to create engaging email lists and newsletters, then come on over April 19th at beabosscoaching.com. You can purchase and register for the workshop, and I will see you there. If you cannot make it live, I will send you the replay, so do not worry. And I'm excited for me to get to know you. Thank you so much for sticking around. Like, subscribe, share, and I'm excited to connect with you further. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.